skills that you had to pick up on your own that became really beneficial to your job? Like that you didn't learn at grad school?
Definitely, and I know it's not necessarily social media, but photography. I never took a class. I just was really interested in it. And I mean, even down to you can now take a really beautiful picture on your phone and post it. And you know, that's credible. And so I think learning about photography and how to push out pictures online in different ways and using that, I think that was probably my biggest skill, because I mean, it was a couple weeks after I started and they said, oh, you know how to use a camera? Let's order a $3,000 camera and you'll learn how to use it, right? And I was like, yes, okay. And then for one of our things that we did an event, and they just kind of put me to it because I knew how to. If not, they would have had to hire someone else. So I guess that was the biggest one.
I think a skill that I had to pick up on pretty fast was learning how to manage people. In grad school and in undergrad, you know, we worked on team projects, and for the most part, we all just kind of managed ourselves. But and I had a minor in business administration from here, but I never really learned how to manage people, like actually tell them what to do. And as an account manager, every single day I'm assigning tasks and I'm working on people's schedules, and I was constantly worried that I would be seen as a nag, or like people wouldn't like me because I was telling them what to do. So I think there's a fine line between being a good manager and being a nag. So that's something I had to pick up on pretty quickly.
There's that gender thing we talked about too, about female leaders
Yes.
not being liked because they're strong leaders.
Especially in the technology and web industry.
For me, it was sort of expanding my web skill set. One thing that, well, when I started out at the Statesman, I was a web producer, so I got more experience in working with a content management system, and we kind of brushed on that in grad school, but in order to just, you know, manipulate and design, you know, with a content management system, that was something I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down and learn this, and really try to learn it well. So, you know, I started figuring out things on our content management system at work, which is really weird, and it's proprietary, so it's like nothing you've ever seen before. And at the same time, that sort of helped me learn how to do something maybe a little more simple like WordPress. Like I finally launched my own website using WordPress as a CMS, which I was like, there's no way I'm gonna ever figure this out. I don't know PHP, I don't know, you know, JavaScript, it's just insane. And you know, once I sat down and I was like, okay, it's time to Google and time to watch a few YouTube videos, and I figured it out, you know, and it's like I host my own website now, and I have my blog linked to it as opposed to like some external link to like some Tumblr or Posterous blog. So yeah, you know, I challenged myself to try to learn a little bit more about coding, and I managed to do it, and I use it at work all the time now.
So they do WordPress installations and Drupal installations we're learning now, so we keep evolving that
Awesome.
graduate
That's
class.
great.
So who holds your hand to help you learn these new skills?
You did.
I'm asking that question in a specific way. Like, there is nobody that's going to like sit down with you
Right, yeah.
and show you.
Yeah.
One, they don't know this new stuff. There's
Right,
nobody there that
yeah,
knows it.
exactly.
And two, they don't have time.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no time for anything in a newsroom. Like a lot of it, you just kind of have to do on your own. Like
Maybe in your spare time.
And yeah, and even in my spare time, like, you know, I'll go home and I'm like, okay. And part of the coding thing also helped me with like our Tumblr blogs, because you know, you can like manipulate themes, and you just have to go into the back end and figure it out. And so like I remember the first time I tried to manipulate a theme, it just like, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. I need to step back from it. And so, you know, I would revisit it every now and then, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to understand this. I'm like, this is where the JavaScript is, this is where the CSS hangs out, this is where the HTML is. And yeah, and you know, just figuring it out on my own, basically.
Same thing when I set up our Tumblr account.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.